it's always a juggle, as you say, balancing your work and your house, and still not burning out, as you say.
Oh, that was a lovely example. I mean, I would have not thought about it, honestly. Probably because the numbers would,
Yeah, actually.
I would have not thought about that.
So at that point of time, I realized that you cannot do everything on your own. You need to delegate work. You need to trust people with the work, and overall experience of so many years. I've started understanding that there might be some other strengths as well, which you need to look into people instead of being perfectionist in one point. Ask for help whenever required, because that's also the one part where people are a bit hesitant. The help is very easily available around the corner, but we do not know it because we don't ask for it.
Cat. Hey everyone, welcome to Better Manager podcast. I'm your host Nilima. On this podcast, we will meet several guests who have had interesting and unique managerial journeys. We will learn from their experiences, challenges, growth stories. Typically, when someone enters the workforce, they spend the first few years getting good at their jobs. From there on, it's common for individuals to transition into a managerial role and suddenly become responsible for leading a team. The interesting question is, should everyone naturally become a people manager? Are the skills that make someone a great individual contributor enough to manage the team effectively? And if someone decides not to pursue a people management role, what does that mean for their career growth? These are some interesting questions we will discuss with our guest Neha Bhosale in today's conversation. Neha joined Atos 18 years ago as a trainee and after excelling as a data analyst, became a manager. Over a period of time, she realized that she enjoyed her role as an individual contributor more. And what happened after that? Let's hear from her. Hi, Neha. Welcome to Better Manager podcast. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, Nilima. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really glad that I'm doing this.
Neha, before we start, could you tell us a bit about yourself for our viewers also?
So I'm a borderline millennial with an engineering degree in electronics and telecommunication. I have worked with Atos for past 18 years. I started this journey as a college graduate, and it has been proud and long association with the organization. Currently, I'm working as a global capacity manager in private and hybrid cloud solutions that are offered by Atos. So that is on the work front. Personally, I'm married and I have two beautiful daughters, a Gen Z and a Gen Alpha. So that's a roller coaster ride. And in my me time, I really rarely get it though. I like to read, travel, I catch up with my close friends, and listen to music. Instrumental and classical are my favorites.
From a fresh engineering graduate to a global capacity manager. That's quite a growth story, Neha. So let's begin at the start. Tell us about how you became part of Atos and how your journey has been so far.
I joined Atos as the campus interviews or the college recruitment drives that happen, and when I joined Atos, it was a team member or a team player. That's how it began, and then stepping up through the ladder, I was team lead for 6 to 8 people. So that was my first experience to manage people. Then again, I had an opportunity to work as an individual contributor, which is not a usual path, but the work that was offered was an interesting one. So I took that opportunity and I worked as an individual contributor for approximately 6 to 7 years. And I'm now again a new manager and still doing the favorite part of my work, which is the data analysis plus the manager. So yeah, that's how it is for now.
For 18 years, there must be so many projects that you've handled and completed. But then, is there something which is a favorite project of yours?
It's hard to choose one. I will give you a glimpse of the two of my favorite projects. The first is, of course, the first one, because first is always special. So it was the project included financials. So that was the one which built the foundation of my career, where we had to be on toes and connect with a lot of people. The current one is again one of my favorites because it gives you a meaningful story from the numbers, how you can give the visualization of the data you have, and that interests me. Yeah, I mean, being a capacity manager, you have a lot of data, a lot of numbers with you, and you have to give attention to the detail and work out with a visualization or a picture that gives a good view to the management.
I'm sure it must have been interesting. I personally am not a number person or a data person, so I am not getting into the details here, but would want to move on to the next question, which is most people think moving up means managing others, but you chose a different path, Neha. What's the story there? If you could just elaborate on that.
I mean, when I started my career, that was the case, like stepping up means you being a manager and managing people, managing teams. That was the scenario back then. But nowadays, there are a lot of opportunities, where you can be an individual contributor and still advance your career, choose your area of interest, like data analyst, data scientist, or maybe design architect are few of those that I know, and you can still have a good career. So, working with data is something that I found interesting and I still love. So, and that also has a good opportunities in the career. So here I am.
So did you feel any pressure to stay in the management role ever? Did you had that pressure?
Frankly, no. I didn't find that pressure because I always had an opportunity to step ahead with the work that interests me because it also added business value,
Mhm.
and I'm lucky enough to have a very supportive team and supportive managers. Start from my first project till now, all the managers or all the senior management people that I worked with have been very supportive in the career choices you make and how it added the business value to the work.
I remember you mentioning that you are detail oriented, Neha. Your work is like full of data and it must be something which is most important quality that you probably need. How does that affect your daily routine?
Yes, it affects because you need a lot of focus and attention when you work. So that's one thing. When you work as a capacity manager or as a data analyst, you have a bunch of data in front of you, and you need to pick up the things which you think are important to be presented or in a meaningful manner or in a visualization where people can understand what that data consists of, and there are decisions that are taken on the basis of what we bring out from that data.
So, Neha, did you develop this skill over a time, or you were always this detail oriented and had this eye for?
Kind of, yes. I mean, the learning process always happens over the time, but I am kind of, a perfectionist when it comes to work, and this uh, this part of my work has, brought out my qualities. I would like to give you an example for the numbers. I mean, if there is something in the report which get, not updated correctly, then there might be the decisions that are changed based on those numbers. So that kind of perfection is a part of the work. But you cannot be pricky being a perfectionist every here and there, so you also need to understand the different perspective of the people around you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You need to balance it out. So you need to know where to stop and where to kind of get into the details. I get that completely. With eye for detailing and so much of a data work, is there a secret that you have to maintain the high standards without getting burned out?
It's always a juggle, as you say, balancing your work and your house, and then uh, and still not burning out, as you say. So delegating work is one thing that I still learn, because you are, if you are particular about some things to be worked out in a particular way. But sometimes, getting the things done is more necessary than looking for perfection in every aspect of it. So that's one part I have started doing, and I'm still learning. And second thing is, physical and mental fitness is very necessary. So I'm not kind of a fitness freak, but I make sure that I work out at least 3 to 4 days a week, so that helps to maintain the energy levels. And that specifically, I would like to point for the women, and when they cross a particular age limit, we tend to keep this thing aside, or we don't focus because of other priorities.
True.
But that is the thing, that taking out time for yourself, that is really necessary.
I completely second you on that. So, following through the same point that you kind of brought out, about delegation. So, someone who likes to things to be done just right, how do you handle letting go, trusting others with the work now as a manager? How do you manage that transition?
I would like to tell you my personal story about it. Birth of my second child was almost in the time of COVID. Like my younger daughter was almost 7 to 8 months when COVID hit.
Uh-huh.
So I had just returned from my maternity, started working, and all the lockdown thing happened and everything. So at that point of time, I realized that. You cannot do everything on your own. You need to delegate work. You need to trust people with the work, and like, you need to make sure that the work is happening. So you need to let go and keep your controls down at some times, but still need to make sure that the work is getting done.
Uh, Okay. So, do you have any tips for balancing control and trust that you would like to share with our viewers?
uh, first thing, when people when they like the detailing and some things to be done in a certain way, uh, you need to learn the perspective of other people. Like, 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 1 is also 4. So you're ultimately getting the answer there, but there can be multiple ways. So you need to learn to understand the other people's perspective, and things can be done in a different way, and then the results will also be the same and of the same quality. uh, so that's a learning for me as well, and I would also like to share it with the people.
Oh, that was a lovely example. I mean, I would have not thought about it, honestly. Probably because the numbers would.
Yeah, actually.
I would have not thought about that. But yes, I mean, I really liked it. And I'm going to kind of use this somewhere, sometime for sure. And I'm going to kind of shine on that. But coming back to our next follow up question that I have is, so when you bring in new member or you have a new member joining your team, do you specifically look for some of the traits that you have, which is like eye for detail, or you have kind of identified that there are other traits also equally valuable to have in a team member who is going to join your team? If you could just help us understand that aspect.
The eye for detail is always welcome. I'll be happy to welcome people with that quality. But as I mean, with the experience, overall experience of so many years, I've started understanding that there might be some other strengths as well, which you need to look into people, instead of being perfectionist in one point. And that's how you will have a balanced team with different qualities coming together and giving the best output. Uh, for the business. But out of all this, there are two qualities which I would like to emphasize, or when I look into people, is the discipline and the consistency. So you will get motivation now and then, but unless and until you have a discipline and consistent way of working, or maybe your personal life or other things as well, there are a lot of perspectives to it. Without these two things, it's difficult to succeed and achieve your goals, and that's what my assumption is.
Well said and well put. How do you then help your new team member get trained and up to speed with with all these qualities and with all the work?
Okay, so there is a defined process through which they will have to go through to understand how things are done and how what are the business requirements and everything. To start with, they will be there will be a kind of a four eye principle to see how the work is done, but eventually it is on them to work on their own to understand the things better, because learning by doing is the best approach, as I feel. And yeah, we should also give them some leverage so that they can bring the best out of them, because I personally do not like micromanagement thing, and that's how we build trust within the team as well.
True.
So when that trust part is there, the communication is transparent, and it of course both ways, team players to the manager and manager to the team player. So when that trust part is there, and when they know that the manager is approachable at any time, if there is anything also happens, we are also prepared to handle things.
I agree. I mean, I remember, Neha, when we were kind of initially talking, you had shared that you kind of have remote working and your team members are located across India. So, how do you manage team bonding, the connection, and ensure that everybody feels connected and have that rapport?
Yeah, that's sometimes can be a difficult thing when you're geographically apart. You need, and still you need to have that part as a team, as a one team. For me personally, I have daily calls with my team, wherein we of course we catch up about the work, but outside the work there are few minutes every day that are put in, to speak up outside the business, how their lives are going on, maybe if there are different cities or countries, how the weather is, and if there is something interesting that's happening or something not interesting that is happening in their lives. So yeah, that's how you catch up and you get connected with the team.
That must be kind of. So do you kind of I remember you kind of sharing something which was very interesting, that I think somewhere towards the weekend you have coffee hour or something, coffee mug.
Yeah, there is a concept called coffee corner. I'm still trying to figure out, but yeah, that's something interests me. Wherein you will have casual chat and not about
Acha.
the business thing. You know, so maybe you get to know the person better, their hobbies, or what is happening in their lives, if of course they would like to share. And sometimes you get solutions for your problems as well when you speak like this, and some easy solutions for which you might not have even.
Yeah, that's what called as thinking out of box. So let's wind back the clock a bit to when you became the manager for the first time, right? What was that experience like?
It was actually 10 years ago when I first became the manager. So, of course, that was a different me, I would say. But as I mentioned at the starting of our discussion, that the managers that I had at that time as well were very supportive, and they again helped me to be up to the speed, and to also help me with the process, and how how the things happen when you manage a bunch of people. But yeah, of course, there were ups and downs. You had colleagues for which you became a manager, so it takes time to be at that pace and uh, be on that position. But yeah, it was a good journey, and I thoroughly enjoyed that because I had a wonderful team back then, with few youngsters, so it was always a happening part.
That's nice. So, what was one thing you wish you had known back then?
Understanding the personality traits, and maybe how different people think
Mhm.
differently. So I think I know better now. If I look 10 to 12 years ago.
Okay, and how has your management style changed since those early days to today?
As I mentioned, that was a different me back then, and now I can say I'm a bit mature, where I can accept changes maybe more gracefully, understand the business decisions or requirements better because of the experience that I had in these years, and being more compassionate towards other, and that helps really to build the team bond stronger and positive. That also helps in bringing the positive help work environment.
So, Neha, what advice to or tips that you would give to someone who excels in their technical job but feels nervous or hesitant about taking on a leadership role? Something that you would want to add from your experience that you would want to share?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good question because there are many incidents even I have seen, when people are excelling in their technical jobs, but when managerial roles are offered to them, they are a bit hesitant. But my advice for them would be never shy away from grabbing the opportunity, or at least give yourself a chance to try it and test it and own it. It might work for you. And we are in an environment where there are a lot of changes happen, and they happen very frequently. So accept the changes uh, in maybe the industry, or maybe in the work process and everything. And the last part, or the one more part that I would like to add is ask for help whenever required, because that's also the one part where people are a bit hesitant. The help is very easily available around the corner, but we do not know it because we don't ask for it. And out of all this, even if you try, you grab the opportunity, you try doing it. If you feel like the technical job that you are doing is what you are most comfortable with, you can always go back to it. There is no right and wrong. If you feel like you like being an individual contributor, or maybe a job wherein you have a lot of technicalities, that maybe is where your satisfaction lies, you can always go back to it.
That was really profound, and I think it was really helpful tip for people who are in the transition or are going to be becoming manager. I think that's like a really helpful suggestion that you had to share, Neha. So now on the lighter note, before we wrap up, let's do a quick round of rapid fire questions. So are you ready for that?
Okay, go
Yeah.
on.
So what was your management superpower?
My management superpower is the connection with the team,
One task you would do forever without getting bored.
bringing out a story from data.
Okay, I mean, quick productivity hack you swear by.
There is no hack, I would say, for productivity, but again, I'll come to the points of discipline and
Okay.
consistency.
One meeting rule you never break.
Be on time and be a good listener.
What is the best piece of feedback you have ever received?
There is a story behind it, so I would
Please.
like to tell you. There was a meeting with a large head count, wherein most of the people were the freshers, and one of the senior managers were addressing them. And at that time, I mean, I was not aware of it, but they introduced me, or he introduced me, and explained them my journey, about how I started career in Atos as a debut, and then developed my skills. And in addition to that, being a mother of two and managing that part of life as well, so uh, that was quite overwhelming. And when you were appreciated like that, wherein you can be a motivation to others, uh, that is something has stuck
That
me, and I still remember
that is
that.
amazing. It requires a pat on your back.
Thank you.
Computer or music? if you had to pick one?
That's a tricky one. If I have to work for 9-10 hours a day, then I can't work without computers. But for my soul and my mind, I can't live in a world without music. No, maybe I couldn't pick one, but yeah, that's it.
So, stuck on an island for a year, what five things are you bringing?
A lot of
Mhm.
books, camera. Uh, I like gardening, so maybe seeds or saplings of some trees wherein I can grow a beautiful garden. If there is an internet, then I would take my phone and my laptop. Uh, yeah, I believe we are done with the five things. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for this rapid fire answers, and it was really kind of rapid. Um, I had a lovely conversation with you, Neha, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners have enjoyed the conversation and taken some tips from there for sure.
Thank you, Nilima, again for having me here. This is a different experience than our day-to-day work that we do not do it usually. So it was a good experience for me. And yeah, thanks
Pleasure
again.
was mine. Thank you so much. I mean, it shows how there's no single path to success. Sometimes the best move is to be honest about what you are good at and what excites you. It is not simply about fitting in, but about finding roles where you could stand out. While it might not always be easy to find the perfect role in every organization, it is important to keep an eye out for opportunities that let you shine and excel. And with this nugget, we come to the end of today's conversation. I would like to thank Neha once again for taking out the time for this. And to all our listeners for tuning in, I hope today's discussion made you think differently about your career. Thank you and bye bye.